Hello and welcome to another episode, not just another episode, but the first episode of 2024. Of course, coming into this new year, I just had to develop some type of sore throat. Um, it's I got a lot of itching and stuff going on, so if you hear me coughing and whatnot, it's because of that. So, need to keep my liquids going, you know what I'm saying? But, of course, if I could close this bottle, that would be the year started insane. Like with Raw day one, obviously The Rock coming back. Like, don't get me wrong. WWE teasing us with Jinder Mahal coming out first. Amazing. That was so awesome because just watching the crowd and looking at them just in anticipation of like, oh my God, who's it gonna be? And then it is Jinder Mahal, and everybody's like, so it was just awesome to see that though. Like they used an amazing opportunity to just fool everyone. And I do wanna acknowledge, of course, and uh give a shout out to Jinder Mahal for doing this. I mean, like everyone in WWE, including Jinder, knew that obviously the reaction was going to be a total flop. But yet he still came out, still cut a pretty decent promo just to get interrupted and be belittled by The Rock coming back and cutting a even better promo on him. So one thing, like something I appreciate about wrestlers, especially the not so popular ones, is that they're always ready to take an L for the sake of the company. And in this instance, Jinder Mahal, I mean, like he went out there knowing that he's going to take a huge L. Like not just by The Rock returning, but also by the reception by the crowd. He obviously knew what the um what the reaction would be from the crowd, and he still went out, cut a good promo, which for those of you who are a little too eager and a little too how can I put, like, you got to understand, this is entertainment. There always has been this foreign national that would come to WWE and bash the US. I mean, it's been going on for years. I mean, the Iron Sheik did it. You had Rusev doing it. You had Kozlov. What's his name? Kozlov, another Russian guy. Um, Rusev did it as his when he was the Russian character. So it's nothing new. It's always happened. It's always been around, and it's one of those things that, believe it or not, it further unites the fans and the nation when stuff like that happens, because then guess what? The entire arena is chanting USA and no one cares about outside politics anymore in that moment. So that's just a little side note. So don't like just relax, okay? Does I'm sure people have their opinions about the US, but when it comes to promos like that in the WWE, there is a reason for them, okay? Don't take them too serious. Like it's a promo. It's for entertainment, okay? And it's to unite us a little bit more, all right? So chillax, all right? But for Jinder Mahal to go out there and just just absolutely accept that L is it's pretty respectable from the guy. And like let's be real, the man was a WWE champion in the past. Could I see him become go back into that championship picture? Of course I can. Especially with all the Saudi shows that are going to happen in the future regardless. I'm pretty sure he'll be back in that main event picture pretty soon. If it's not for the WWE Championship, it may be for other titles. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But of course, it was a nice little present to the WWE universe to have The Rock come back and just it did, like, his promo didn't even matter. It's just the return. As soon as you hear the entrance music, it's over. Like, you don't need anything else. Everything after that is just bonus. And we got a lot of bonus, especially his last sentence, if he should sit at the head of the table. That was awesome. Like, it's been talked about for a while now that he'll be challenging Roman Reigns. And it's obviously, it looks like it's starting to happen. So it's going to be very interesting to see how and what exactly is going to happen, simply because if you think about it, this promo was cut on Raw. Obviously, Roman Reigns is on SmackDown, and The Rock did not show up on Friday Night SmackDown. So I'm not entirely sure what exactly is going on or how this whole thing is going to develop, especially with Roman Reigns' new match at the Royal Rumble. So I assume the storyline is going to really take off at the Royal Rumble. I feel like something is going to happen there at some point where The Rock either gets involved or I don't know, but something has to happen for it to somewhat make sense. Because right now, you just have a promo of The Rock saying that he will sit at the head of the table. Obviously, everyone knows what that means, but how is it actually going to happen? Then we're going to come to the second portion of this, Roman Reigns. He earned himself a fatal four-way match at the Royal Rumble against none other than LA Knight, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. So, like, if you want to take the safe bet, Roman Reigns is going to win that, just so that he can have his match against Roman Reigns, against The Rock at WrestleMania. But then I've seen some interesting theories as well. I've seen some theories that Randy Orton is going to win the WWE Championship from Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes will challenge Randy Orton to finish his story versus Randy Orton. Now, that makes a lot of sense because there's not a lot of history, not a lot of connection between Roman and Cody Rhodes. However, there's obviously a lot of history, a lot of connection between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, since they used to be part of the Legacy together, with Randy Orton being the leader, and Cody Rhodes being able to dethrone him at WrestleMania to take the title. I feel like that would close out that story for Cody Rhodes rather than him fighting Roman Reigns. That's just my opinion. So, is that going to happen? I'm not sure. I just don't see Roman Reigns losing the title at any other event besides WrestleMania. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Like my money is still on Roman Reigns winning in some type of way. So we will definitely see what will happen at the Royal Rumble. And like this is just my personal opinion, and this has been my opinion ever since I can remember. So obviously you have several premium live events or pay-per-views throughout the year. My favorite ones, and the ones that I feel like have the most impact, are the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Those are the two that I want, for one, always make sure to watch, and two, I feel like those are the ones with the best moments, with the best impacts, and with the best history, because there's always some surprise at Royal Rumble, and then that feeds into WrestleMania. So that is why I think those two are the most important. Of course, all the others are and or can be and are entertaining. But I just don't feel like I think a close third would be SummerSlam, just because it's been around for so long as well. But those two, Royal Rumble and and WrestleMania, of course, are going to be my top two premium live events that I for sure cannot miss. And who doesn't like a good surprise coming out for the Royal Rumble? I mean, we've had so many. We've had John Cena coming back from his injury way too soon. Nobody expected him to come back. What was it? 3 months that he already came back from an injury that he was supposed to be out for a year, maybe? Then, obviously, recently you had Edge return. That was insane. And then when you would have like Hall of Famers pop up, or when Rey Mysterio returned, Booker T when he made his in-ring return just for the Royal Rumble, just for that moment. What I enjoy about those is obviously the pop and just the emotion that goes through the fans and even myself. Seeing that stuff is just insane, in my opinion. Like they're a lot of fun, and it's just great to watch. So, with that being said, are there even any official matches for the Royal Rumble? So obviously we got the Fatal 4-Way and the Men's Royal Rumble and the Women's Royal Rumble. I can't remember seeing if there are any other official matches. Oh, Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul for the US title. Now, in my previous video, in the previous podcast, I said that I would like to see LA Knight challenge Logan Paul and beat him and become the US champion. Kevin Owens is also a good choice. I just feel like, in my opinion, Kevin Owens already has had a lot. I mean, he's been WWE champion. Like, he's already had the top title of the company. And you have a huge superstar, huge up-and-coming superstar in LA Knight, who, let's be real, he's competing for the WWE Championship in a Fatal 4-Way on Royal Rumble. Like, it doesn't matter how popular he is, he's not going to go over in that match. I feel like it should be LA Knight versus Logan Paul, just because LA Knight deserves to have his first singles title now. Like, it's way overdue. And he already had his chance at Roman Reigns. Great match, by the way. And give him some steam. Give him a mid-card title that he can elevate, because with his stardom, he can make that US title a main card title, just like Gunther did. And them two battling each other, that would be pretty cool to see. Not for the titles. I don't want to unify those titles. That would be dumb. But IC champion versus US champion, that would be a cool match, especially if it was Gunther versus LA Knight. So, am I okay with Kevin Owens challenging Logan Paul? Yeah, like it's fine. I'm not opposed to it. I know it's going to be a good match. However, I would have just preferred seeing LA Knight take on Logan Paul just because I feel like he deserves to finally have a title and win something. So that's just my opinion. I think it's just time for him to get something finally. And then another thing I wanted to talk about doesn't have to directly relate with any of the shows or anything, but just the Bloodline itself. So there's just some things I don't understand. Like, for instance, Jimmy Uso. So Jimmy Uso was the first one to kind of be like the outsider of the Bloodline, to be able to, who was on Sami Zayn's side when he left. And then he helped Jey Uso leave the Bloodline. And now Jimmy Uso's back in the Bloodline? Like, I just feel like that was his whole purpose of just making sure that Jey gets out of the Bloodline. And then they were like, well, we don't have any more plans for you, so we're going to make you suck up to Roman and try to get back into the Bloodline. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have any more plans, I guess that'll work, but I just thought it was really weird, really awkward, and it just seems like he's trying to oversell it now, being in the Bloodline way too much than what he did prior when all of them were in the Bloodline together. So, I don't know. I just think it's a little strange the way everything is going right now with Jimmy Uso. And the funny thing is, too, like, how popular Jey is. Like, Jey is literally main event Jey Uso. And then you got Jimmy Uso, who is a little irrelevant, unfortunately, because a brother versus brother rivalry would be pretty insane and pretty awesome. However, if that were to happen right now, that would bring down Jey Uso quite a bit, because Jimmy is just not at the level. And I don't think it's his fault. I think it's just the way things played out, and him going back to the Bloodline, I think, hurt him way more than it should have. I think he should have stayed a singles competitor and figure out his way from there, because I just, like, the Bloodline is holding him back. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. So I am pretty excited to see what's going to happen. So the Royal Rumble, when is the Royal Rumble? The 27th? Let me see. The 28th. No, the 27th. Yeah, so the 27th is the Royal Rumble. So we still got 3 weeks of Raw and SmackDown prior to that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen, especially, are we going to see The Rock again? What's going to happen with that story? So it'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen now, because they just introduced a whole new flavor to this pot. So a whole new ingredient was just brought into, and it's like it's like when you're cooking and you usually use all the same ingredients and spices, and then you're trying to play around. You're like, I've never used this before. Let's see what happens. So I feel like that's what's happening right now in WWE with bringing The Rock in out of nowhere, kind of, where there was already an established storyline, sort of, and now we're just throwing The Rock into the mix. So let's see what happens, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do and how they're gonna play this out. So so yeah, and that would be the end of my show. And I think this is episode 7. Boy, we're really moving along on this. Already 7 episodes into my podcast channel, gaining traction slowly but surely. And it's all thanks to you guys. Really appreciate all you guys do, all the shares and likes. So, and first show of 2024, I feel a lot of good things coming. So I really appreciate all you guys out here, and I want to thank you. And hey, if you're just watching this for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow me on my socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. All my stuff, all my handles are in the link tree on my profile. I really appreciate all you guys. I'll be seeing you guys next week.